So on Friday night, it all gets underway live on talkSPORT with the hosts Germany taking on Scotland in Munich. And England have arrived at their base in Weimar land as they turn their attentions to preparing for their opening game against Serbia on Sunday. Glory this summer would end 58 years of hurt for England fans, but former Three Lions midfielder Danny Murphy told White and Jordan yesterday that the wait will go on.
I don't think we'll win it simply because I look at the other teams and they just feel more rounded.
Like whom?
The French. You know, there's
that's one. Who else?
Well, I think Portugal have got a hell of a side with lots of experience. They're not going to fade away because of the. I mean, you look at the squad the players they've got in the squad, tremendous.
And what part of England is not rounded?
Well, they've got a lot of younger players who haven't had tournament experience, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. We've had experienced squads before and failed, but I just look.
Yeah, but you've just been singing the praises of Eze.
Yeah. And I'd play him. But what I'm saying is, who's going to win it? For me, to get over the line, I think the French and Portugal, or even there's some dark horses in there as always. But England are going to have to play well and have a bit of luck.
All right, so Danny Murphy sort of maybe tempering those expectations that many have placed upon this England team. We want to hear from you this morning if you agree with what Danny Murphy is saying. Do you think England won't win the Euros, or do you disagree and think, actually, I daren't say it, but football's coming home this summer? Let us know what you think. You can pick up the phone and dial us on 03717 223344. You can also text us to 81089. What did you make of what Danny had to say there, Dino?
I agree with him. More rounded. I think England's back four, as we speak, shambles. As we speak, not settled. We don't know what the back four is going to be.
No, that's true.
You should know what your back four is going to be going into a tournament. And is Luke Shaw going to be fit? Is Trippier going to play left back? Is Kyle Walker going to play centre half or right back? Who's going to play alongside John Stones? Is John Stones fit?
I think actually the question mark more is about John Stones than anyone, really. But like you say, because of the injury issues that he's had this season and the fact that he had to come off against Iceland, I think we know that Shaw's not going to be fit for the first game. I think that's already been suggested. I think if it's not Shaw, it's going to be Trippier. And then it's probably, if Stones is fit, Gahey alongside him with Walker at right back. I imagine that is the back four, and the back four they're going to be working with. But like you say, there's still that question mark over Stones.
Yeah, and ideally, your defence, you work on it all season. You know, getting them coming up at the right speed, they drop off at the right speed. Players understanding that, for example, if Gahey plays and Kyle Walker's at the side of him, does he realise that Gahey sometimes goes short, tight with centre forwards? So Kyle Walker gets round. You start understanding each other's game. So at the moment, they're not right at the back. From Declan Rice forward, unbelievably good. I think, even though they never scored against Iceland the other day, but that can happen in friendlies. But I think he's spoilt for choice. Once you go Declan forward, he can play three players in every position. But the goalkeeper's very good, but can do something erratic, and the back four's not settled. So that's where he'll be worried about. He'll have to play two defensive midfield players in front of him to protect England's weakness, which is the back four, I think.
So we heard there from Danny, he was picking out France, he picked out Portugal, he suggested there were dark horses, they didn't say who. Are those two teams that I've mentioned, France and Portugal, the biggest dangers to England maybe winning this Euros?
Yeah, when you read that Saliba might not even start for France, that shows you where they are at the back. Obviously they got Mbappe, which he can win tournaments for you on his own if you keep the ball out of your net. Portugal have probably got the strongest in-depth squad and experienced and know how to win. I'm looking forward to seeing Ronaldo play, actually, to see how he does at his age, just to see if he's still got it. I've got a feeling that Albania are going to do well.
Albania?
Yeah.
What makes you think Albania are going to do well?
Hardly let any goals in.
They won their group, didn't they?
Yeah.
In qualifying?
But, you know, attacking football they play, and, you know, they go for the opposition. Whether they can do it against the better teams and the back four will hold out, that remains to be seen. But, you know, dark horses, Albania.
Right, but you're aware who's in their group?
Yeah, I know.
Just in case you're not
sure. There's always one, Nat.
It's probably the group of death, you would say, Group B, with Albania in that. Croatia, Italy and Spain. That's a tough group.
It
but
is.
you're right. I mean, Albania did brilliantly. They finished ahead of Czech Republic and Poland to win their group. From what I've been reading about them, they are a very aggressive side now. They've really... Silvino, the former Arsenal defender, alongside Pablo Zabaleta, they're in charge of Albania. And they've really changed their style of football. So
I'm not saying they're going to win it.
No, but they could cause a few problems.
Yeah, looking for odds, big odds on a team that might get through the
Okay.
group. You can get through if you're third.
That's true. 4 best third team.
Yeah.
Is that right? Four best third place teams, that's right.
I don't think Germany are good enough. I don't think Holland have got good players, but I don't think they've rounded enough to win the thing. But Belgium have always had good players. They missed the boat, I think, when Roberto Martinez was manager.
With
They
their
missed
golden
the boat.
generation.
Gone.
Well, let's hear what Jamie O'Hara has to say, because he returned to the sports bar last night and he revealed who he wants to see in attack for England.
I think Anthony Gordon has to start on the left.
I'd start him.
I'd start him on the left.
I'd
And now,
start on
if
the left.
Saka's not fit, I'd play Foden on the right and play Bellingham and play Kane. That's what he's going to do. And he's going to play... I'd play Conor Gallagher as centre mid with Declan Rice. That's what I would do. Well, it sounds like he might play Trent in there. I think Conor Gallagher's been playing week in, week out of Chelsea in midfield. I like him, his energy.
He wants a ball player in there. Connor's got a lot of qualities.
Declan Rice is a ball player.
Trent's passes, those the way he can strike. Just
No, mate.
those
He's gonna
passes
give
left
the
to right.
ball away in midfield, mate. He's going to give
Trent?
Trent will give the ball away.
I'm watching you, Dean, and you are shaking your head. What do you not agree with?
Well, do you want me to give you my team and then we can work from there? My team would be Trent and Declan Rice. I'd say to Trent, just drift. Declan, you stay there, stay in the middle of the pitch and let Trent just play in midfield but drift towards his right foot where he can pick passes out, through balls, diagonals.
Yeah.
Bellingham play in front of the pair of them and you just work off Harry Kane, find the pockets in between the lines. Trent will chop it into your feet, or he'll hit Harry Kane and you work off Harry Kane. Foden on the left, you come inside or stay out there for Trent's diagonals, but you can get in the game either way. And on the right, Saka, get the ball out to him. Kyle Walker overlap him, get at the fullback, cause havoc, and Bellingham, Kane, Trent, get in the box. That would be my forward. Trent, for me, I've been saying it for a long time. Nobody else can see the passes. Nobody else can hit the passes that he hits. And if you're going to have plenty of the ball in most games, he's you one on the... Declan Rice can't pick a back four open with his passing. Bellingham can't with his passing, but Trent can pick holes in any defence. If your fullbacks switch off, Trent will find the winger, i.e. Salah, when he's playing for Liverpool.
All right. Well, a lot of the papers this morning going with the fact that Gareth Southgate is leaning towards Trent playing in midfield and obviously starting against Serbia. We will continue to talk about that because we're going to be heading out to Germany and speak to our England correspondent, Faye Carruthers, as well as England legend Stuart Pearce a little bit later on, get their thoughts then on the potential of Trent Alexander-Arnold starting in midfield for England. But we've got to talk about Scotland as well. They may have been given a boost, Dean. I don't know if you saw this, as it was reported that German players Antonio Rudiger and Niklas Füllkrug came to blows in training.
I've seen that, yeah.
Now, the report claims Füllkrug approached Rudiger before, which led to the pair shoving each other. Before then, the assistant coach, Sandro Wagner, had to intervene and separate them. Shortly after the fight was broken up, Rudiger applauded Füllkrug mockingly as the striker stomped past. Is it also to do with the tackle or something in training that this all came about? That maybe Füllkrug thought Rudiger was a bit heavy with a challenge in training. When you read stories like that, if you're in Scotland camp right now, are you looking at that and thinking, oh, this is what we want, disharmony in the German camp? Or do you dismiss it and think that's just a training ground incident, they'll get over that?
Yeah, and there's always one defender that in training just goes through the backs of your legs on a Friday morning and you think, you idiot, what are you doing? We've got a game tomorrow. And you end up squaring up and saying, "What are you doing?" But Rudiger's that type of character, isn't he? You know, I'm gonna leave a bit on you. Looks to me as if he trains like he plays, and forgets it's like we've got the Euros coming up in 3 days.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like going through me? I'm going to get injured. So I would turn round and say square up to him, even though he'd smash me to smithereens. But you've got to turn round and say, use your brains. Like, we've got a game tomorrow. You're on the same team. And another thing, England getting beat by Iceland, best result they could have got.
Really?
For me, yeah. They're favourites. The hype starting. All of a sudden, you get slapped in the face, and sometimes it does you good.
Well, Harry Kane has said that, hasn't he? Since he sort of said, like, that's maybe what we needed, that kind of result to kind of maybe bring them back down to earth a little bit, to refocus and maybe not go in with that arrogant swagger that everyone might have put upon them. But it's interesting to see what will happen over the next few days, and of course what will happen with those team selections. We want to hear from everybody, in fact. If you're English fans, Scotland fans, how are you feeling about this tournament then that is fast approaching? Just 3 days away. How confident are you, England fans? Scotland fans likewise. Do you think you'll be getting out of the group stages for the very first time? Why not give us a call? 03717 223344. Up next, are we about to see players become referees? The first steps might well be in motion.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.